Like most people, I bought a Canon M50 to shoot video with. I'm really happy with its performance, especially the dual pixel autofocusing. So what about shooting stills? I wanted to give the little M50 a workout, so that's what this video is about. This is the rig I use to shoot with the M50. I use a small rig cage and two small rig handles. To shoot stills, I took off the top handle since I planned on using the electronic viewfinder for the most part instead of the LCD display. I shot mostly in manual mode and took a couple of shots in aperture priority. I'm shooting at the butterfly and birdhouse at the Detroit Zoo. It's early April and the butterflies are just starting to emerge. I bought three lenses with the M50, a 22mm f2.0 pancake lens, a 15-45 f3.5 kit lens, and a 55-200 f4.5 telephoto lens, which I have hardly used. Shooting birds and butterflies requires a telephoto lens, so this was a good opportunity to try it out. The M50 on its own is very small. I'm used to shooting with DSLRs, mainly a Canon 5D Mark III and a 7D. After using these cameras, the M50 feels like a toy. It's very light, which makes keeping it stable problematic, especially with a telephoto lens. It really felt natural shooting with the small rig cage and the handle. The handle's comfortable and solid. Although it's expensive, I think it's worth the money at $80. That's $10 more expensive than the cage itself. The handle needs to be mounted on the left side of the cage to access the controls and shutter button on the right of the camera. I shot in the mid-morning on an overcast day, so ISO 400 worked pretty well. I used auto white balance and shot in RAW mode. I used a standard picture profile. My goal was not to get arty with this setup, just to shoot simple stills and see how the camera performed. I always shoot in RAW, and the M50 saves RAW files in the Canon CR3 format, which is new. The only issue I have with CR3 format is that my standalone version of Lightroom 5 doesn't support it. I have to use Adobe Camera Raw to import the files, then save them as .psd projects, and then import them into Lightroom, or I can just process the files in Photoshop. Since my main workflow is in Lightroom, these extra steps are kind of a pain. Adobe Camera Raw is great to work with though. You can tweak the image how you like it before you process it in Lightroom or Photoshop, as you can see here. I really didn't do much at all in Camera Raw since the images look pretty good straight out of the camera. So here are the stills. I'm pretty happy with them. The cycling time isn't as fast as I'd like it to be, and I'll use a faster SD card in the future. I shot with a SanDisk Extreme Pro Class 10 card at 95 megabits transfer rate. I'm going to jump that up to 120 at least. The little telephoto lens worked really well, and I have absolutely zero complaints about the dual pixel autofocus system in this camera. So I'll just let the shots run here, and you can see what you think about the M50's still capabilities. And again, I really didn't do anything to tweak these images. These are all pretty much 100% unretouched. So don't discount the M50 when it comes to shooting stills. Unless you want to go street shooting and keep the M50 in a pocket for quick urban shots, I recommend using a rig such as a small rig and a handle. It feels much more DSLR-like, adds some weight, which adds stability and really helps when you're shooting stills.